Hi, my name is Akil King. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm the creator of Tiny Village Cartagena. Tiny Village Cartagena is an eco-friendly boutique hotel right off the coast of Cartagena on the island of Tierrabamba. It's designed to inspire a better living. There are three main concepts that make Tiny Village unique. The first is the concept of tiny villas. Each villa is an energy-efficient 200 square foot house built to comfortably sleep up to 4 people with all the amenities of a typical villa. The second is authenticity. With their Spanish colonial style, these villas look like they were plucked right out of Cartagena's old city. To stay true to Cartagena's craftsmanship, the windows and doors are made of reclaimed wood from the historic Teatro Colón, a theater that was built in the late 1800s. The third is eco-consciousness. In addition to the efficiency of the villas, to maintain a tiny footprint, the village runs predominantly off of solar power and uses a water conservation system designed specifically for the site. After years of working really hard on some cool projects at Apple, I realized that I was getting burned out, and I didn't want to spend the rest of my life working at big tech companies. At that point, I decided to travel in order to find out what was next. On my first trip to Cartagena, I was immediately energized by the city. The vibes, the music, the people, the culture, and the stunning Spanish colonial architecture. I was inspired to build something here, and so the idea of Tiny Village Cartagena was born. From the very start, I was determined to create a more conscious kind of business. More importantly, a business that everyone who visited would feel what I felt about Cartagena. Every time I come to the property, I can't believe I'm actually here, working on this crazy project. I took a chance, and seeing it all come to life has really been a dream come true. When embarking on a journey like this, you know things are going to be hard, but until you're actually there doing it, you have no idea. My first step when I decided to build Tiny Village Cartagena was to find the perfect location. For me, location was everything. My vision was something near the beach with close access to the city center of Cartagena. It sounds simple enough seeing that Cartagena is surrounded by water, but that process ended up taking a full year and a half. I viewed property after property and became an expert in property laws and rights in Colombia, which are extremely complex. I think the main difference between doing business in Colombia and the US is just the culture. We have two totally different cultures. In the US, we try to be as efficient as possible. We meet with an agenda, we establish action items, and we leave. In Colombia, it's a much more laid-back Caribbean lifestyle and way of doing business. Meetings tend to be less transactional and more personal. You might go to a bank or a government office and it's closed, even though the hours on the door say that it should be open. The laid-back lifestyle can be super refreshing, but when you're trying to get answers and approvals and build a business, it can just drive you crazy. The language barrier was a really big challenge and one that I knew I would have when I got here. Initially, I was pretty much paralyzed as far as business negotiations go, needing someone I trusted with me at all times to help translate and explain things. What's been great is the amount of friends I've made while working on this project, from translating in meetings to helping me find materials or simply making introductions.
¿Cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? Damn, I know everybody.
I feel like every friend I've made in Colombia has played a significant part in this journey. I think the best part of this project is the freedom. I've always worked hard, but it feels really different working towards your own goal. Even though it gets tough sometimes, I'm glad I took the leap. Working on this project, I've been able to stretch myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Working on the Tiny Village project has been one of the most fulfilling and difficult experiences I've had in my life. It's been a real struggle pretty much every step of the way. From a seemingly endless search for the right property to months and months of running around completing paperwork. Sometimes it feels like you're just moving backwards. I've had my fair share of meltdowns. There has been so many times when I was flustered, confused, or just lost about what I need to do to move forward. One of the most difficult things about being a founder is the isolation that occurs when all your attention is being put on one goal. No one can care as much as you do. When you add living in a foreign country away from family and friends into the mix, that can create the perfect storm of anxiety and angst. What has helped me manage is keeping a schedule. I make time to actually take care of myself and connect with people I care about. Plus, sometimes when you're stuck, you just need to step away, do something else for a little while, and come back with a clear head. Then you can start chipping away at the problem until you find the answer. Through all the setbacks, I try to stay focused on the end goal. I know that there's always a solution, I just need to find it.
If I could describe Akil in one word.
I have so many words.
He has a word, he always like dope. Adventurous.
Extraordinary, with the emphasis on extra.
When I started the project, I realized I didn't have all the expertise I needed to build an eco-friendly hotel to my quality standard. What I did have was a bunch of dope friends who could lend their expertise to the project. I would have the best, most talented people working on the things that were critically important, like operations, branding, engineering, and marketing.
We're on our way!
The frozen tundra, that is New York. Look at this. It's freezing. I'm gonna raining too. But we made it.
Made it here in Colombia. It's time to drink.
Michaela Maxwell is my best friend from our freshman year in college. We met our first week at Hampton University and been inseparable since. Professionally, she's a branding expert. She's worked on some really amazing brands, and I trust her with the branding vision for TVC. I've known Zakira Harris since we were 13 years old, and she's one of the nicest people I've ever met. She's been managing Hyatt hotels for over 10 years. She lives, sleeps, and breathes hospitality, and she was tapped to help us create a world-class experience at TVC. When Eli, Fidel, and I met in college, he could fix anything, and now he's fixing nuclear submarines. He's a genius electrical engineer. I thought it would make sense to bring him on to manage all the solar and electrical pieces of Tiny Village, being that solar was a really important piece of the project. I met Kayla Robinson while working at Apple in California. She's a super talented creative who has done some really dope work at Apple and outside on her own. She was tapped to develop the creative vision around all of our content. Trey was my neighbor my freshman year in college. He went on to get his master's in sports marketing and has had stops at ESPN, Disney, and now serves as the director of sports marketing at the University of South Florida. He was tapped to do the product management. I've known Ralph Johnson since my Hampton days. He went on to graduate from Harvard Business School and has worked at McKinsey on some really big consulting projects. One of the things that he's done professionally is fix businesses and analyze them to make sure that they're running properly. I felt that Ralph was the perfect person to make sure that we got it right the first time. Alba Cantillo has basically been my lifeline in Colombia. I met her through a good friend when I first moved here. I actually was looking for a lawyer, but Alba turned out to be an incredible financial advisor. Great person, great heart, great love for people and the project.
I agreed to be a part of this project because it was something I believed in. I think the idea of creating these tiny homes that are that have the eco-friendly message, but also the way that we really want to bring the culture of Cartagena to the island, in the way that we don't want to be invasive necessarily. We want to bring the people of Tierra Bamba with us and really work with that community.
I agreed to work on this project because it is a dream of his that he's always talked about. I remember the first time we were in a cigar bar a few years after college talking about our wildest dreams. And he stated that he really wanted to do a project similar to this in Colombia. When he first moved here, on our way back to the airport, he told me this is like, it's real, he really wants to do it, and he's extremely passionate about it. And I figured he's definitely the person to get it done.
I think that at the beginning, there were like many things. At the beginning, it was just like, well, it's an opportunity for me for the English, so I can improve my English also. Then it was more like, well, actually, the cultural thing is kind of nice. And then I don't know what happened. I just woke up and I was like kidnapped in this world of the tiny village thing.
Well, one, Akil is my best friend, and I believe in anything that he works on, or I didn't have a choice. I couldn't stand on the sidelines and watch him do this great thing and not be able to lend any resources, ideas, skill sets that I have. He's a risk taker, but also smart about it.
Working with the international team has been a challenge. It's not only navigating time zones, but also navigating demanding jobs and side projects. So I do my best to try to be organized so I don't waste anyone's time. It's also been great that I get to connect with my good friends and have their expertise infused into the company. It gives me a new sense of purpose and camaraderie that we are all working towards the same goal and working towards something really unique and different. After all of the ups and downs, it feels amazing to be able to show people how far tiny Village Cartagena has come. As we've completed construction on our common spaces, we've been able to focus on the village aspect of the brand by fostering community. We've hosted multiple on-site events as well as cultural trips around Cartagena. Our goal is to provide our guests with a unique travel experience, but we also want to have a positive impact on the community and our employees. Teaching about sustainability and providing invaluable training. The success of our employees is included in the vision. What makes me most excited about finally opening is letting the project serve as an inspiration. To other businesses, you don't have to compromise your morals to be successful. To the local community, you can come to work and feel like you're part of something impactful. To aspiring entrepreneurs and dreamers, no matter how hard or scary it is, you do have what it takes to make your dreams come true. My dream is for Tiny Village to be an international brand providing sustainable cultural experiences around the world. I hope that the story of Tiny Village Cartagena has inspired you. Hope to see you soon. After all of the ups and downs, it feels amazing to be able to show people how far Tiny Village Cartagena has come. As we've completed construction on our common spaces, we've been able to focus on the village aspect of the brand by fostering community. We've hosted multiple on-site events as well as cultural trips around Cartagena. Our goal is to provide our guests with a unique travel experience, but we also want to have a positive impact on the community and our employees. Teaching about sustainability and providing invaluable training. The success of our employees is included in the vision. What makes me most excited about finally opening is letting the project serve as an inspiration. To other businesses, you don't have to compromise your morals to be successful. To the local community, you can come to work and feel like you're part of something impactful. To aspiring entrepreneurs and dreamers, no matter how hard or scary it is, you do have what it takes to make your dreams come true. My dream is for Tiny Village to be an international brand providing sustainable cultural experiences around the world. I hope that the story of Tiny Village Cartagena has inspired you. Hope to see you soon.